today's video, we're going to be talking about how Nikola Motors plans to escape the accusations against them. Make sure you stay until the end so you don't miss out on these shady tactics. You'll be absolutely shocked. Background: a relentless Tesla rally pressured General Motors and other legacy automakers to catch up. Tesla's relentless rally has really helped the electric vehicle market to be known with its underlying narration in 2020, which recently culminated in the company being valued with a market cap of over $400 billion at its peak, more than time-tested names like GM, Ford, Daimler, and Fiat combined. Unlike Nikola, Tesla develops extensive proprietary technology which cuts many traditional automakers and suppliers out of the picture. The astronomical rise of Tesla's valuation has pressured other auto companies like General Motors to unlock similar value from the ongoing EV wave. In August 2020, analysis from Deutsche Bank and Morgan Stanley pressed General Motors to spin off its electric vehicle business, stating that such a move dedicated to EV could be worth up to $100 billion. Nothing is off the table, GM CEO Mary Barra said at the time, appeasing analysis and winning a price target boost from Morgan Stanley shortly thereafter. Then, what exactly happened to Nikola? From the report, the company has been backpedaling in the wake of the September 12th Hindenburg Research reports. As a short seller, the investor bets the stock will go down. Hindenburg has an incentive to bring out the worst aspects of the company. There are many. Most egregious, Nikola admitted that it had staged a demo and shot a video of the Nikola One in motion, with the Nikola One tractor, the cabin propulsion system of an 18-wheeler, rolling down a hill seemingly under power. Actually, it was just rolling down the hill, as trucks are meant to do when you take your foot off of the brakes. Nikola's alternative facts explanation: Nikola never stated his truck was driving under its own propulsion in the video. Nikola's idea on sourcing key technology from third-party suppliers being another major concern because Nikola claimed that they were in-house inventions. Power inverters that Nikola said it developed came from a company called Cascadia. The Nikola Trade tractor was a non-working Nikola One with H2 and zero-emission hydrogen electric painted on the cab, the Hindenburg Report says. All this led to the board of directors announcing leadership transition. Stefan Gursky, a former vice chairman of GM and Nikola board member, was appointed chairman of the Nikola board. What about Trevor Milton? Within a week, Trevor Milton went from being the youngest newcomer on Forbes 400 billionaires list to suddenly stepping down from Nikola Corporation, the electric and hydrogen truck startup he started, amid allegations that the company is an intricate fraud. The move came 10 days after a financial research firm that had taken a short position in Nikola, Hindenburg Research, issued a detailed and scathing report that alleged Milton committed a number of fraudulent acts to help the company achieve its $20 billion valuation. Milton and Nikola refuted the firm's allegations, but not all of them, and in one statement, the company did admit that it rolled a non-running truck down a hill for a misleading in-motion video ad released in 2018. The US Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission have both since opened investigations into the company. Nikola is truly in my blood and always will be, and the focus should be on the company and its world-changing mission, not me, Milton said in a statement. So I made the difficult decision to approach the board and volunteer to step aside as executive chairman. Founding Nikola and growing it into a company that will change transportation for the better and help protect our world's climate has been an incredible honor. The move was a stunning reversal of fortune for Milton and Nikola, who just recently were respectively seen by many as the next Elon Musk and as a startup poised to jumpstart the nascent EV truck market. Milton founded the company in 2015 with the goal of making hydrogen and electric-powered semi-trucks for long-distance hauling. It also unveiled the Badger, a passenger pickup truck it said could get 600 miles of range on an FCEV/BEV battery blend and do 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.9 seconds. For a brief moment this summer, Nikola emerged as the poster child for the new generation of EV startups, scoring huge Wall Street valuations on the heels of Tesla's stock price skyrocketing past every other car company. It went public with an SAPC, an old Wall Street tool that's big again in the electric car world, gaining a valuation of $34 billion early on. Things really picked up from there when Nikola announced a strategic partnership and investment from General Motors earlier this month. But things quickly unraveled from there. While Hindenburg Research openly admitted a short seller position in Nikola, it alleged that much of the company's so-called proprietary vehicle technology was not its own, that prototypes used in promotional materials were not actually functional, that the company exaggerated the number of reservations it currently holds, and Milton's brother was placed in charge of building out the company's hydrogen infrastructure, despite his most recent job as a contractor in Hawaii. And while Milton and his team have refuted Hindenburg's claims, they did not dispute all of them, and in the process they raised more questions than they actually put to rest. For GM's part, it says the deal with Nikola is still underway, and that it did all due diligence on the deal before it happened. Though, as the Detroit Free Press and other outlets point out, the current situation is more of a PR black eye for GM than an outright financial risk, given the size of the investment. Nikola will now have to deliver on that deal and prove it has a viable future, but it must do so without the man who started it all. If nothing else, the situation is further proof that the EV startup world is often built on shakier ground than Wall Street investors with dreams of easy Tesla-like money would like to admit. Making cars is hard. Reconfirming plans. It was during an announcement made earlier Wednesday that Nikola reconfirmed plans to build the semi-trucks. It intends to test its battery electric Nikola Tre semi-trucks in Europe by the end of the year, followed by the production in the fourth quarter of next year. The company also said construction of a plant in Arizona remains on track for it to begin manufacturing activity in 2022, followed by additional work on the facility in 2023. It also hopes to partner with another company on hydrogen fuel cell stations by the end of the year, and to break ground on first hydrogen fuel stations in the second quarter of 2021. It also plans to start testing its fuel cell semi-truck in 2022, with production beginning in late 2023. The coordinated press release and executive interviews are a contrast from the company's previous media strategy and making grand proclamations over Twitter. It's something investors should expect to continue going forward, according to the executives. Exit strategy? JP Morgan Chase somehow reiterated its buying rating after the Hindenburg Report revealed the false claims that Nikola Motors stated. This made one and only one aspect clear. Chase was in on the fraud. JP Morgan Chase owned Nikola stock and still owns it today. As a result, it would be in their best interest to issue a buy rating on Nikola stock in order for them to profit. In addition, the response of GM was similarly one-sided. CEO Mary Barra claims that she did her own due diligence and is now requesting more stake in Nikola. GM's stake in Nikola quickly fell from the $2 billion mark to $1.1 billion. So, of course, the only logical decision from a greedy CEO's perspective is to obtain more free money. The fact that these major corporations are supporting an automaker that has already been proven to be a fraud truly shows the ethics of the underlying executives. Nikola's remaining executives still have a large stake in Nikola Motors that is worth millions if not billions of dollars. Funnily enough, these executives are actually receiving more stock as a quote-unquote award for keeping the valuation of Nikola Motors at a certain level. Mark Russell, the current CEO, has received more than 600,000 shares that is worth $14.4 billion as an award. In total, Mark has over 41 million shares of Nikola that is worth roughly $1 billion. Yes, you heard that right, $1 billion. Kim Brady, the CFO of Nikola, has $7.6 million worth of stocks as of this moment, and Britain Worthen, the CLO, has $7.2 million of stocks. Yet this stock is worthless to them right now because they can't sell their shares until December 31st, which is when the lockup on their shares expire. Remember the date, December 21st, as all of these shares would come flooding out into the market and the valuation of Nikola will literally go downhill. All of these nuclear executives and large shareholders are desperately waiting for December 21st so they can dump their shares on the open market and run away with hundreds of millions of dollars. Another strategy that Nikola executives seem to be doing is to stay away from the media. After all, from a retail or institutional investor's perspective, if Nikola isn't on the media, this means that they aren't focusing on delivering. But in all honesty, this is clearly not true. Nikola's executives are waiting on their hundreds of millions of shares. Over the past few days, neglected attempts to silence online critics such as Sam Alexander and Tom Nash. Both of these YouTubers have received copyright strikes for using footage of the Nikola One in motion, despite the clip being fairly used. While you are here, go ahead and click on one of these videos on your screen. See you there!